Talk Live, Season 7, Episode 20. Drone Ban updates. Always try versus in same. All right, we got a lot. Ron is so he is on evening. However, a little bit, and we in this world. John, well, two tonight. Um, see tonight. Yeah, Richard is here. John. Sound is off. Yeah. Is the sound any better? You know, anything. I'm gonna give. Okay, is this any better? I hit a setting here. Intermits microphone up on there. Let's see if it'll let me do that. Okay, now I'm switching to the microphone up here. Can you guys hear that better? Is it still messed up? Gone again. What's the word here, guys? Any better? Is the sound any better, guys? Better now. Okay, Michael, thank you. All right. I don't know what's wrong. I seriously don't know what's wrong. So, okay, we're going to go with the flow. All right. Good deal. Thank you, Bill. Thank you for letting me know. All right. Good deal. All right. Whole lot to talk about tonight. I hope you guys had a chance to watch the first best drone show of the week last night. Of course, you know I'm talking about Drone Nation, and Original Jovo was on a roll and smoke, an absolute total roll. So, yeah, I know, Drone Juice. The mic is coming up from here, and I don't know why this one's giving issues. So I'm going to have to dive into that later and look into that. So I'll try to compensate and talk maybe a little louder here. So okay, all right. Got a lot to talk about tonight. Got some things. Got a DJI's coming out with something this week. We're going to get to that in just a little bit here. But the very first thing I want to go over is all right. You know, and of course, when I saw this article, I thought had to be from a southern state, and of course, this happened to be in the state of Florida. 72-year-old arrested for shooting at Walmart delivery drone. Wow. Okay. Now Walmart was practicing deliveries. They were doing mock deliveries with their drone. Okay. And they said the team heard what they thought sounded like a pop of a gunshot. They saw it and they told authorities, and authorities came over and they questioned this gentleman over here is 72 years old, and he took a 9mm pistol and shot it. And if you guys know the law at all, it is a second-degree felony. I mean, they're pretty serious about this kind of stuff. So, shooting an aircraft is a second-degree felony. Criminal mischief causing damage over $1,000, a third-degree felony. Discharging a firearm in public or on residential property, misdemeanor. Okay, so It's not good for this guy. All right, just you know, we're trying to fight, kind of hang on to our hobby and our livelihoods and everything here, and this guy goes and he does something just extremely stupid. Okay, I don't know. I don't have any other words for it, guys. I really don't. I really don't. Yeah, you know what? You're right, my friend. You're very fortunate. You are absolutely very fortunate. And be careful when you go out there and do that, my friend. Seriously, okay? Okay, no, yeah, I like that one, Akarasha. That was good. Okay. Well, that's kind of like the way things are with that. So what can I say? But yeah, 72 years old, went out there and just, I guess it annoyed him, so he. Now, I've heard in the past something else I've heard in the past, if the drone was low enough, guys would get out their garden hoses and turn them on full blast and try to spray water on the drone, which probably is not, I mean, it's not shooting at it, but if it brings it down, it's going to cause harm. And yeah, so I'm not even going to go there. I don't know. Yeah, drone views. I agree. I think he would. 72 years old. You should know better than to go out there and take your 9mm and start firing at this. Okay, it's not like we're in. Hey, Johnny,
What's up, Bill? How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for joining the circus tonight. Appreciate
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, you got a little sound problem, but it's a little better now. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm using. It's getting the sound from here. For some reason this was cutting out here, and I don't know why. I have no clue why. So.
Hey, hey, shoot it, shoot it. Shoot it
Yeah,
like the
I'll get to,
guy.
yeah, I'll go in my other room and get the gun out. We'll put this Yeti out of its misery and get another one. I don't know
Hey,
what's going
you
on
would
here.
think, you would think people would know better, huh?
Oh my gosh.
I
70, and
mean,
he's 70. It's not like it's a kid. He's 72 years old.
yeah. Golly,
Yeah, mm,
I saw that article
wow.
come across. Wow.
Well, you know what? I'm so glad, Johnny. My folks aren't around. They're with their maker and not seeing any of this stuff because they would go nuts over seeing some of this stuff. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Even taking a whole doing anything to. I mean, that's just I don't know. People can't figure people out right now. It's a crazy world.
No, I'm not. You know what? And I'm not even going to begin to try to do something like that. It's just, yeah,
We got
it's
enough our own problems, don't we, right now with the drone
yeah,
stuff? So hey,
we really do. We really do. One of the things one of the first things I wanted to talk about tonight was, I mean, we're gonna be diving into a couple of subjects pretty deep here, but the Mini 4 Pro, the Air 3, and the RC2 got firmware updates, and omnidirectional optical sensing Mini 4 Pro can now be updated. Lists the version number, and it says according to the release notes shared by DJI, the new firmware packages fix some known issues. More importantly, the update adds support for enhanced transmission in some countries and regions. Okay, and that's pretty much about the gist of it. It doesn't sound like it's a major update or anything. I assume you did yours, Shawnee.
I don't have the Mini 4 Pro. I saw
Okay.
somebody say something about an Air 3 update. I think Darren from DN Productions, but that I have never seen it come across. I mean, they had one a couple weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago, I think, but I haven't seen a Air 3 update come across the RC2. At least I haven't. I mean, I don't know if it's in other parts of the country or other parts of whatever, but I personally haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either, and it's kind of, I think it's so minor. It's not what they said. It was for certain countries. It may not apply to us, and so if it doesn't apply to us, we may not get it. I mean, that's just
Yeah, and the way they
yeah.
roll it out, I know sometimes you'll get it on the Android first, and then you might get it on the iPhone, or you may get it on the iPhone first. So it's kind of weird. I don't really know how that works.
Yeah, I'm not real sure of that either. So, well, one of the subjects we're going to get into, and there are several things that I wanted to talk about, is what's next for DJI, and there's several things here on the plate here. Now, the first one really kind of the timing on this really kind of surprised me, Johnny, because I am really enjoying my Osmo Action 4. Okay, it's just absolutely fantastic. So what do we see? There's new DJI Action Camera coming, Osmo Action 5. pros spotted online. I mean, I don't know what to say, Johnny. I mean, it's the cycle is really crazy because the Action 4 hasn't been out that long.
No, not at all. Wow. I mean, look. Of course, we'll talk about drones, of course, but hey, the Air 3 is just not even a year old yet. But anyway, yeah, Action. I still have the Action 2, works great. But man, Action 5, of course, I think in new mic, Action 5, a new drone coming out. It'll all be in that ecosystem kind of together. It'll all work together. So I think, but DJI is still pumping out the products. That's for sure.
Yeah, they are. And one of the things that really pleased me was the compatibility with the Action 4 with the DJI Mic 2, which I have. And it's just like I'm like, okay, this is just too good. I mean, it just seamlessly. You don't have to set it once, and every time you turn it on, it pairs it. Every time you turn the mic on, it'll pair it with the phone, and it's just like it's seamless, and it's like
Yeah, I'm a little behind. I got bronze brown Mic 1, so I'm but
okay,
hey,
okay.
works
Well, I
free.
got the Mic 2 when I got the Pocket 3 because
Yeah.
that comes with a Mic 2, and it's seamless. It is. But one of the things that I found with it is the battery in the Mic 2. It depletes pretty good. I mean, like I was out for like 2 or 3 hours, and it was down to 60%, which really kind of surprised me a little bit. I expected it to last longer because I know the ones from the Mic 1 and they last like all day. So I don't know if it's just was heavy use or because it's paired with Bluetooth or what. I don't know, but it just
Yeah, it could be the heat a little bit too, could be a little bit of everything.
yeah. And I'm just gonna chalk it up and say whatever. But I think but there's no right now and we're gonna get to that subject. We're gonna talk about what's going on with the drone ban here in a little bit. But you know, this could lead. And I get several questions through the week. Is DJI accelerating their product cycle because of this ban? And I maybe I don't know. I can't say for sure because of that. Because if things need to get approved by the FCC, then the ban's gonna. I mean, once if it would ever go into effect, it would affect that. So they wouldn't be able to come out with new products. So they're really kind of maybe they're jumping the gun. I don't know. I mean, that's just
Yeah, I don't think so. I just think it's the normal production. I think that there's going to be a happy median there, and if you caught the show last night, I mean, hey, fly what you got, and I say, do what you can to support it. Write your senators and your Congress, but I don't know if there's anything we can do about it. But hey, there's a lot of great drones, and the drones we have right now today will fly for a long time if you take care of them. And I mean, listen, I say we want, but the Mavic 4, Mavic 5, the Air 4, it's small increments of technology. And hey, yeah, I think we got some great drones the last few years. And hey, I think it's I don't know if it's time to chill a little bit, but I think just fly and enjoy it. Hey, and this guy knows all about flying, that's for sure.
that guy down there. I think he does. I think he's flown a time or two before.
Johnny's favorite drone right here.
There it is.
I got the Femi Mini. Yeah, the Mini 3.
The Mini 3 in flesh and in person.
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay. Now, in conjunction with that, there's been a lot of talk about an Air 3S, and I'm just going to show. This is just what came up on Igor's feed out on Twitter or X or whatever. Okay, there's a picture of one in the air. There's another picture of it flying. There's another picture of it here. And then, there's been a lot of talk and a discussion, is it an Air 3S? Is it an Air 4? And then there's also talk of a Mavic 4. Well, not to be outdone, okay, DJI is having a release this week. And everybody goes, okay, so what's going on? You're thinking maybe a gimbal, maybe something or other. Well, lo and behold, okay, this just kind of like blew me away. I mean, I was not prepared for this. Okay, it's like another surprise coming down the pike. DJI is coming out with an electric bike. Okay, I don't have any words. I mean, I really don't have any words. I'm gonna bring up Igor's stuff here. So let me go ahead and and share that and show some actual pictures of the bike here. My first question is, what are we looking at price wise for something like this? Because I think that I think it's gonna be pretty doggone pricey here.
Well, a good e-bike is pretty, pretty hefty right now. So
$2,500, 2,500, 3,000. You think?
Yeah, I'm thinking you might be right, Marcus.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I think our friend Brian Singleton would probably be able to hone in and tell you exactly how much.
Yeah, but if you notice, I don't know if you got. Well, Johnny's a motorcyclist. Notice it's got Fox shocks on there, Johnny. There's some high quality components on that thing.
Yeah, DJI's got, man, they're gonna do it. They're gonna do it right. Yeah, I don't, man. That's pretty interesting. A bike and e-bike.
In fact, I'll bet you it could even be more than 3,000. It could.
You think, Marcus?
Yeah.
Man.
Yep.
Now, see, and
Full
here's
suspension, look at that, full suspension, and yeah.
And how will these be sold? I mean, I guess just shipped and you put it together, of course.
Bicycle stores.
Yeah.
Stores.
Probably Costco, yeah. Sam's, Best Buy. I mean, the Best Buy, yeah.
You're going to want somebody that can service a high-end bike like that. They need to be serviced.
Yeah.
And I would be willing to bet through. There's so many bike stores.
Yeah, now that does not look like it's a collapsible or foldable kind of bike. So that's going to be one that's going to be put together when you get it. I mean,
that's a mountain bike. That's an MTB.
Yeah, exactly.
Right there. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And I think Marcus hit on a good topic there as far as service and maintenance on that, because if you ride these a lot, they are going to need service, they are going to need maintenance. And I guess one of my questions is, okay, if it doesn't have any Bluetooth capabilities, okay, it won't need FCC approval. So that's something that they could kind of skirt with that. My guess is it doesn't look. I'm not seeing any gauges or any kind of items up here as far as
like a little touch screen or something.
Well, it's bound to have Bluetooth, but Bill Thomas is making a good point in the chat. He says that Amflow bikes, and if you look, it says Amflow on the side. So maybe DJI is just the power plant, and the bike is sold by this Amflow company.
Yeah, somebody wants to know if it's got return to home. I see in the chat there.
There you go.
Yeah, well, it's very interesting here that they're coming out with this, and I don't want to say anything about timing, but I mean, it's pretty interesting that they've decided to go ahead and do this. Here's another.
Yeah. Hey, Bill. One of the things that Ken Dono said yesterday when we kind of drilled him about the Air 3S or Air 4 or whatever, he said that the influencers don't have them in their hands. So
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you're right, and that's a really good point. I did tune in for a good part of the show last night, and I did hear him say that. So that kind of leads you to believe that this is going to be something that's going to fill a void for a while, them coming out with this. But my question is this, and if this is coming out labeled as a DJI product, but I'm wondering if DJI is white labeled, if they've gotten somebody else to manufacture it, and kind of like the Specta Air, and kind of like what Randall Warnes is doing with Anzi Robotics, that they bought all this from another bike company and are putting a DJI label on it. I don't know. I mean, it's just that's quite possible that they're doing something like this.
Yeah, very possible.
That just kind of leads me to believe. And I think you're right. I think this is going to be expensive. I think it's probably going to be north of 3,000.
Right.
This is not going to come or run cheap. And the big question of that is, like Marcus said, is maintenance and service for these, because they do need it. This is not just like you put air in your tires and oil things up every once in a while. This is going to need regular maintenance. It's going to need service. Batteries are going to need to be replaced. So yeah, there's a whole host of things with this. So this is
Here's another thing, Bill, is that particular bike, it's out of the wheelhouse of the three of us for sure. I mean, that is a
Yeah.
young man's bike right there. It's not.
Yeah, that's not. I wouldn't even begin to consider something like that. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just way too much. And
Marcus,
I'm sure it's a fast bike too. I'm sure it's not.
That's the kind of machine that Eddie Nunez would be.
yeah,
buying.
Eddie. I was about to say Eddie or
Yeah, or maybe
Sean
Ken. Or
Isles. Yeah,
Billy.
Sean Isles could get some great shots with that, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be perfect and right up their alley. So, yeah. So, Enterprise bike shop fits only battery and electronic. Okay, all right, Dr. Rush. That's a good point.
But a lot of the bike shops here, they won't work on electric bikes, or at least they won't. I mean, so somebody said they had called one day and they didn't want to fool with, well, maybe the brand he had. I'm not really sure how that works, So,
Well, one of the things that I think we want to go ahead and look at right now is, we're gonna take another look at the drone ban update, and there are several components to this that I wanted to talk about tonight. Let's see here. Okay, now the first is, believe it or not, it's not related. It's related, but it's not related. Okay. There was a legislator in the state of California, okay, a California state senator introduces a bill to ban drones used by most Orange County police, okay. And this is an article that talked about that. In a statement, recognized that while drones see regular use by law enforcement are a critical tool, law enforcement agencies need to be careful about what they're buying, but where they're buying their tools. And again, it's pointing as far as looking at China again, as far as that's concerned. So I mean, it's interesting this came popping up, of course, with everything that's going on in Washington right now. This rears its ugly head, and I think there's a lot of copycat rules. Although they tried to do this in Connecticut, and it kind of got shot down before the legislation session ended in Connecticut. So I don't know. It's interesting that the timing of this. I think it's real interesting that it's coming out on the heels of that. Now, one of the other things that I wanted to talk about was, they are really pushing, and we need to find that article here. Oh, I had that.
Marcus, how's the weather today?
Hot.
Yeah, here too.
We're going to be in the hundreds here.
This article right here, and I think this is a really good point, and I think it would answer a lot of our questions. Okay, House leaders urge Department of Homeland Security and DOE to declassify the DJI drone threat. Okay, and a request by the House Oversight Committee Chairman and underscores growing concerns about national security and the protection of critical infrastructure from foreign surveillance and cyber threats. All right. So now in a letter addressed to them, argued that the public interest far outweighs any possible interest in keeping this information on these threats classified. They contend that transparency will enable local and state agencies, as well as private sector entities, to take necessary precautions and develop robust countermeasures. All right. And, and this is, I think, at the crux of this whole issue. I think a lot of people, and I know there's been a lot of discussion and a lot of videos and a lot of chats about this very subject, because while we're so familiar with what's going on, it's not funny. But the one thing that's been surrounded in secrecy and hasn't been shared with us is this. Okay, what is this national security threat? All right, and is there any validity to this? Is it something that's real? Is it something that needs to be concerned about? Well, hopefully this will get that flushed out, and I'm hoping it will, because if this is a real concern, then it needs to be brought up. We need to know what this is, and and it's not going to be so critical is to say, okay, you're not going to, we're not going to find anything, say for instance, about somebody who would fly across the bay from where I live and fly over MacDill Air Force Base, because if they do something like that, that drone's going to be taken down in a nuclear second. That's not even going to get anywhere. All right. What are they going to do? They're going to see, the pictures of the Skyway Bridge down here in Tampa, or my shooting fountain out in front of my development, or traffic on US 301 where I live. I mean, these are kind of things that I do. And, for Johnny, where you go flying, people are going to take a look at some of these spots where you go and saying, oh, there's the stadium there, or there's another site down where I live, or Marcus, oh, there's the Snake River Canyon. We're going to take a look. We're going to take a look and see where, what's going on with this. Is that's what I'm saying. I'm just not seeing a lot from this. It's just one of these things that I don't think we're going to get anywhere with unless we find this information out. I think we all have a right to know this too. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but I just don't think a lot of that information get released. And I think what is kind of happening now is a trickle down effect. Even if this doesn't pass, a lot of cities and states are now it's bringing it to their knowledge, and they may just say, hey, hey, don't buy any more DJI drones, or so I don't know. That's what kind of worries me. I know Marcus and I talk all the time, and you just don't want to wake up tomorrow morning and see no drone signs plastered all over. And so, this we might get through this, but it might bring up other problems. And it seems like, last couple of years, we're kind of always fighting something. And I mean, I don't know where it's headed,
Yeah, and I agree here. And you guys had a great show last night, and having Ken on was fantastic. I know he wasn't a scheduled guest, but boy, when he comes on, he passes on a lot of pieces of wisdom out there. Okay, and he kind of alluded to this, and this is a really good article, "The Secret to DJI's Drone Market Dominance Revealed." Okay, and the article goes in depth. DJI leads the market because it created it. All right, and investment in R&D, supply chain integration. Okay, and these are no secrets. Everybody knows this is what DJI has done through the years here. Okay, and of course we had to look inside the DJI factory on one of these videos. Here was a total accident because it came from one of the cameras. I think it was a Mavic Air several years ago, and we got to see that. The article also asked the question: is DJI subsidized by the Chinese government here? And DJI critics often cite one story in the media as proof of direct subsidy to the company. To be clear, DJI's majority ownership rests with our founding partners. The remaining investors are from the private sector, with the exception of less than 6% stake and under 1% voting rights that are owned by several state-owned banks, one state-owned insurance company, and 2 municipal investment funds. These enterprises are the same as any institutional investor that purchases stock in a private company, regardless of where that company is headquartered. This equivalent investment in the United States would be a state-backed pension fund investing in U.S.-based technology companies. The investment is neither subsidy nor control, nor represents the same investor goal as every other interest. No government entity or representative sits on DJI's board or has any role in its operations. Okay, contributions to the U.S. economy. This is interesting here. It said it supports more than 450,000 American jobs. Software and hardware firms have built entire businesses around our products, while service providers, farmers, utility companies, and more depend upon them. We are proud to continue to choose us, DJI says. The company now advocates for the establishment of industry-wide security standards for drones and competitive marketplace to foster innovation and ensure safety. Despite facing ruthless criticism and a potential ban on future products in the U.S., DJI says it remains committed to technological advancement and it advocating for policies that promote a fair and secure industry environment. Okay, and now I've seen a lot of discussion and a lot of talk about this. And people say, why didn't DJI do this a long time ago? Well, a long time ago, this really wasn't a concern. This really wasn't an issue, say in 2016, 2017, when things started to really pick up and get to be popular with drones. I mean, because 2017 is when I actually started the channel. So things really didn't start picking up until the last couple of years here in this instance. So, could they have done something sooner? Yeah, I think they could have done something sooner. I think they could have, there a lot of people said, it was like the horses out of the barn when they decided to go ahead and stop the data sharing. All right. Well, that may be true, but they did it. Okay. So they need to get a lot of kudos for stepping in and taking some action here in doing this here. All right. But this article really kind of tells you how they got to be where they're at and it doesn't happen overnight. But there were some very intelligent people, including Frank Wang and company, who had a vision, had an idea, got it started, and got this going here. Okay, and I'm all for something here in the United States popping up, and it's not Skydio, okay? Adam Bry, it's not him, okay? We need to get somebody who can get things going, get them right, build quality products. I would be one of the first ones in line to buy a quality drone made in the USA, without any doubt. If it had the DJI quality, I wouldn't hesitate for a second. I don't think any of us would to do that, okay? But we need to foster an atmosphere here in the country to stop the fear mongering and to say, look, they can be safe, they can be secure, they provide great services as far as agricultural is concerned. They provide great, first responder services, ad nauseum, inspect gas lines, power lines, cell phone towers, things that are very dangerous are done with ease by being able to do this. And they support over 450,000 jobs here in the United States. So, let's look at a solution. And I know you guys talked last night, and I found it real interesting, as far as, now I know, and I did see, and it wasn't last week, but maybe a couple of shows ago, I know Lon had posted something about somebody had posted, DJI tried to get over here in the United States. Well, Lon posted they got shut down in a hurry. And I'm real curious as to why that happened, because I think had they been able to come over here and been able to do something like that, I think this would be a moot point. We wouldn't be talking about a drone ban, because these would have been made here.
You're saying that they tried to build a plant here, Bill?
Yeah, they tried to build a plant here. I know Lon had posted a couple of weeks ago, and it got shot down. And it's just really kind of funny how that happened. And I know a couple of years back there was a lot of talk about Apple buying DJI. I mean, there were some serious considerations, and people were talking about that, but that never came to fruition either. So, it's kind of out in the open right now. But one of the things that Ken said, Ken said he says a lot of great things. Okay. One of the good things he said, and I think I want to share this with everybody. If you didn't watch Drone Nation, you know what he's doing right now? He's buying batteries for his drones. Okay. And it's really smart that he's doing that. And I would also suggest to buy propellers too. OEM propellers for your drones, because that's one of the things that you're going to need in the future. If this ban comes to fruition and DJI isn't allowed to sell these here in the United States, you'll have this available here forever, how long this ban lasts or whatever, until they're able to sell that again. So I think that was a really good point that Ken brought up last night, was go out there and buy, well, no, obviously fly right now. Don't sit on your hands. Get out there and fly. But number two, get out there and buy batteries. He said that's one of the things that he's doing. And I would add, buy propellers with that too, because you can't really 3D print propellers. Okay. You want to get OEMs. And that's one of the things that I've always found is aftermarket propellers, they really don't work very well. So my suggestion is to go ahead and do that for starters here. And, I don't know where this is going. A lot of people don't know where this is going. There's really been, I go out there and I search my news feeds every day because I get alerts anytime an article is posted about it, but there hasn't been any action in Congress for at least a week and a half about this. So it's kind of just sitting there, and their summer recess is going to be coming up right around the bend. I think it's the end of June. So, there's been really kind of no action on this right now.
Yeah, it's been a little quiet the last, say 10 days, a couple weeks for sure.
We're kind of in a spot now that there's not a lot to do. We've all written our letters. We've all done all that stuff. So, continue to have dialogue with your representatives. Not a bad idea. But beyond that, it's kind of out of our hands. And it's just kind of, man, whatever happens. The main thing I can just tell you, I'm not going to stop flying drones, unless they make them illegal, unless they say, if they revoked the FCC clearance for grandfathered products that are already out there, I'd have to leave them on the shelf, wouldn't I? but I struggle with that because there's so much out there. I think we're going to be able to fly our drones. We may not see some new DJI products. If we don't, we don't, I guess, and we'll fly what we have until something better comes along, and maybe it will spur a domestic industry. Or we had some discussion last night. Wouldn't it be fun if another consumer products company got involved? Sony, Samsung, LG, one of those consumer products, electronics companies. Even the likes of Apple, although I would say that that'd be such small potatoes for them that they probably, they're looking for mass market stuff. But there would be opportunities, and maybe even newcomers, I suppose. You guys are saying never Skydio, but you never know. They could throw something out there that would be worth it. I'm not going to say never. No way. I want to fly, and if they put out a good product.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to agree, Marcus. I know Scott. I mean, listen, we all think we know what's going on, and we may only, I think they let us know what they want us to know. And hey, yeah, if Skydio came out tomorrow with a good consumer type drone, or I know they haven't improved the one that they had for a while, but hey, it's definitely it could be an alternative to what's out there.
Johnny, I still get firmware updates for my Skydio too, and it's fun every time I fly it. It's fun to fly. I get a big charge out of it. It's not the same as DJI. No, I'd rather be flying my DJI drones. But yeah, I mean, if they came out with something, I'm not going to be the guy that says no, never.
Well, I know last week or 2 weeks ago when we had Randall Warnes on the show with Ron, he really kind of alluded to the fact, and we kind of asked him in a backdoor way, he was not prepared to basically, do anything regarding consumer drones. But he said, if this kind of comes to fruition, he really gave strong signals and a strong indication that that's an area that he would definitely approach and definitely go there as far as building consumer drones. I think I think it's very viable for him to do something like that.
Bill, I struggle with those clones. I just don't think they're going to be able to sell them because at their core, they're still going to have DJI software. I don't know. Listen, I wouldn't be against it. I don't care what label's on that drone. If we could get the same thing that they sell as DJI someplace sells, only it says Specta on it or something. Hey, I'm down with that as long as we can get the service and so forth. But I just can't imagine that they would leave that kind of a loophole in the law. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And Marcus, the question I have, and Bill, if DJI does not get banned, and I mean, I'm not, where does that put Anzu? I'm kind of like Marcus. I mean, I don't, what would be the advantage to buying that over a DJI if DJI doesn't get banned?
Yeah, he said that himself. He says people are going to be buying why would they buy a green drone when there's a bunch of gray drones?
I mean, is he just rolling the dice and maybe get 3 or 4 good years of sales? And have we kind of learned last night from EXO? We kind of thought that maybe Charlie didn't make a whole lot of money on that deal, but they must have sold a hell of a lot of those drones. In the same way, Randall was thinking, hey, if he gets 5 years of sales and I don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. I just don't think it can be as easy as just, kind of getting a white label drone and saying it's not DJI when it really is. But that's just me thinking. Now, I
wonder the same thing, Johnny.
I'm sure he done a ton of homework. I mean, he's not, so
he never visited the factory. I don't know.
Well, one of the things that Randall told us, when Ron and I talked to him, his parts are all sourced in Malaysia. Okay. He did tell us that on the show, which I found to be very interesting, and everything is made in Malaysia as well too. So it was very interesting going back and listening to that and hearing that that he was very specific about that because he wanted to avoid any kind of connection with China as far as that's concerned. and apparently he was very careful in terms of how things were set up with the company. In fact, he's the only technically he's the only employee of Anzu Robotics. Okay.
Yeah.
As far as that's concerned, and he does everything. Now, he talked about how he's done logistics, and he was real smart about how he did logistics and how he's handling the distribution system for this.
But is that factory in Malaysia got two guys in a garage taking a DJI drone out of a box and put it in a?
It's a DJI factory, Johnny. Don't kid yourself. It's a DJI factory.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It just can't be that easy. That's just my personal opinion. But
my little Mini 4K came out of that same factory. I was talking to John Carroll today. His Mavic 3 fell out of the sky, and so he sent it in for repair. The original one he had a made in Malaysia sticker on it.
Oh,
Mavic 3 Pro. Sent it back in. The one they sent him back had a made in China label on it. So clearly they're making them at both factories.
Well, I think that's something we'll see, and we'll see where this goes. Because if we really kind of push the letter of the law, the Skydio Enterprise drones have Chinese parts in them as well too. So technically, under that ban, they would be banned as well too. So who knows where that's going to go? I mean, I certainly don't know. I don't have a crystal ball, and I won't even venture a guess as to what would happen with that. Now, I know, a lot of folks are not real happy with Skydio and with Adam Bryan and what he's doing. Now, I understand he's trying to get his company to work, and he's doing some good things. But I think one of the problems he's having right now, as I've read, is getting the number of units out that the federal government is ordering from him, because he's way behind in orders, and he just doesn't have the kind of capabilities that, say, a DJI has to mass produce these. I know when they were building Skydios, you looked at pictures, and there were people in buildings that were rented by Skydio, on tables putting Skydios together for us when they were selling them. So I mean, it was it was really kind of, I mean, a lot of credit and a lot of great ingenuity there, but the mass production capability, I don't think Skydio had that, and I think that's one thing that would have made a difference for them if they would have had a mass production capability, but they didn't. And who knows? And who knows where this is going to go? Maybe Adam will come up with a consumer drone. You just don't know. That's one of these things. We'll find out and see. That's just one of the things that I'm guessing at the top of my head. He could end up doing something like that. And also, too, Ken really brings up a good point. Enjoy what you have right now, and what's coming down the pike whenever it comes down the pike. If you have enough funds and you can get it, get it. And do some wise things, like Ken said. Get extra batteries, get extra propellers. If you think some other things maybe high use kind of things, like prop guards for maybe the Avata 2 that might break or something. Buy these things. Buy them. If you use it and you get out there every day and things happen, buy some of these parts. It won't hurt to have that inventory on hand. And a lot of these things you could be able to take care of and address yourselves. So so you have that in your corner, and that's something I would encourage you. And then also, if you're going to purchase extra batteries, make sure you cycle them properly. You don't want to have batteries sitting around all the time. If you say you have 9 batteries for your Air 3, use each battery once or twice a week. Okay, go through them. All right, and then if you're leaving them in long-term storage, charge them, say, at 60%. I know that one charger that I got from that company that I still have is gives you the option to keep them at 60%, which is what DJI recommends. So be smart about it. If you're going to do this, okay. And you have to enjoy it. Have fun. I mean, the weather is great right now. It's hot as Hades. But, I'm sure Johnny knows how hot it is too. And I'm sure, Marcus had a respite from it when he went to Oregon. But, get out there, enjoy it, have fun. I mean, that's what this is all about. Don't just sit on your hands and be waiting for Congress to do something that may not happen. It may or may not happen. We don't know. Nobody really knows. So get out there, enjoy yourselves, have a good time. That's my advice.
Absolutely.
Two comments. Mike Wright's comment, I think there is probably I agree with that. He's saying that Anzu may not have the autonomy from DJI that I wonder about that too. So yeah.
Yeah,
And
we don't know, and
yeah.
and we'll find we'll find this out when things come to fruition and things come to a head, and I gotta think, and I know I mentioned this to Ron and Marcus, Johnny, I gotta think because DJI is such a large company, they're not a company, they're not going to roll over and play dead. Okay, I'm sure that they have their lobbyists and their people are trying to push to not get this happen, and I'm sure maybe there'll be some money. It's like okay. For example, a team is right now the NHL it's called free agent frenzy. All right, July 1st, free agents hit the market, and it's been a free for all. Okay, but there's been a lot of negotiation with things. Okay, and a lot of players they're really smart when they sign these contracts. For example, if we get to the Stanley Cup playoffs, I get this kind of a bonus. If we get to the finals, I get this kind of a bonus. If I score a goal in the finals, I'll get this. And here's the thing, concessions, okay? What they may say, we're going to go ahead and do something like this, but here's what we're going to do, all right? And maybe some punitive measures directed at DJI, but still not outright banning sales of consumer drones in the United States. Maybe imposing, say, a tariff on enterprise level drones, but enterprise level drones, not to first responders, but to say, utility companies and so forth. And then also maybe say, we're going to go ahead, we'll actually help farmers, we'll help partially subsidize some of these agricultural drones. So, there's a lot of things in the works. We don't know a lot of what's going on behind the doors. There's a lot, there's a lot of movement. There's a lot of money on the table. I mean, you look at the building that their headquarters over in Shenzhen. I mean, that cost a pretty penny to build something like that. And you have to have a lot of capital to be able to do something like that. So,
Yeah.
all is not lost with this. I really think there's going to be some negotiations, and we'll see a watered down version of this. Is what I end up imagining. That's just my gut feel in all this because there's a lot of give and take in Congress and bills as they are written from the House. It's very rarely. It's like there used to be an old game they played in school where a teacher would whisper a story to a student, and then and there were 10 lined up. And by the time you got to the 10th student, that was almost completely different than the original story. So
Yeah.
these kind of things I see. This is what I see happening.
Well, I think the more things they write into it is almost better because then that's a little bargaining. They take things out, they make deals, just like you're saying, and I think there'll be something in the middle for everybody. But hey, we'll see. I mean, but I think our community, and we think it's big, but it's very small. But I think we've done all that we can do. I mean,
we've done our part, haven't we, Johnny?
Yeah, I mean, I know in New York, remember when they had the open hearing about that, and a lot of people went, and of course they still voted just like they said they would. So, but at least the people went and showed up, and that's all you can do is voice your opinion, and that's what it's about. I know I got my form letter from my senator, and I talked to Steve Scalise's a friend of mine actually is one of his little guys that does a lot of aids or whatever you call them, but he didn't know anything. He personally didn't know anything about drones, and when I got through talking to this guy, he was going to go out and buy a drone, But it's just I think we've done all we can do. So.
Totally
agree. Show.
We're the best thing we can do right now is to, I don't want to say act as if nothing's happening, but kind of either way, kind of act as if, you still go out there. Tomorrow's Wednesday, get out there. Johnny's going to get out there, maybe fly his, one of his drones. Mark,
I'm flying right after the show. That's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. You get out there and have fun and enjoy it. And, until you hear otherwise, just proceed and do what you're doing because this is still, I think, greatest hobby out there right now. And I know I say this even with my ham radio friends. It's kind of neck and neck with ham radio as far as that's concerned for me. Get out there and enjoy yourselves. Have fun. I mean,
not banned yet.
Not banned yet.
Not banned yet. And and where are you going to find a better group of guys and gals then it's a South Florida drone meetup. Okay. And I'm putting in a plug for 2025, Captain Ray. Okay.
I see John Carroll's in the chat. So he said he got his and it's made in China. But John, you're the one that you had sent in for repair was made in Malaysia. Is that correct? See if he'll put that in the chat. Yeah, Malaysia. He's saying right there.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, I'm just saying, I think that factory's been there for a while. That's what I'm saying.
You're probably right. And that's probably, you know, the Specta Air and the Specta Mini. And oh yeah, just an update. It's a quick update. Okay. Now back at near before May hit in April. Okay. Specta told me, yeah, we'll have accessories. We'll have another battery and props available for the Air in May. Okay. And then we're going to be coming out with the Mini in late May. All right. Then it came June. All right. And then they said, well, we're going to be coming out with the accessories in the Mini in June. All right. Well, July's hit, and I sent them another email, and I haven't heard back from them. So I'm running out. I'm greatly running out of patience with them because you know they told me, yeah, you can go ahead and buy another battery, but you need to send us a wire transfer. And I'm like, no, we're not going to do a wire transfer. Okay.
Yeah,
I want to be able to go out to Amazon and do it. Otherwise, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
And I told them flat out, I said, look, from all the emails that I get about this, okay, you are losing dozens, if not hundreds of sales of this if you would have had these accessories available and had a chain to be able to answer questions. I mean, you know, these waiting 2 or 3 days to get an email response from you guys isn't going to cut it.
Bill, have they let you publish any videos yet?
For the Mini, no. For the Specta Mini, no. I've been on hold. I have 3 videos in the can right now.
Really? And that's been a while now.
Ready to go. Yeah. I mean, I got it. I'm going to say I got it like almost end of April, beginning of May.
Yeah.
So Bill, here's what I find funny about that. So about the time that Specta came along with that Mini, which is essentially a Mini 2, DJI comes out with the Mini 4K, which is essentially a Mini 2. So what was it something that maybe DJI was allowing them to sell a drone, but they didn't expect it to be sold in North America or something like that? So I just wonder what's going on there.
That's a really good point, Marcus. Yeah. It really is, because, and I was kind of thinking the same thing myself, because why would you not want a competitor like this, okay, to have maybe, you know, undercut them maybe 25 bucks or so, and have a great price point on this and get this thing out there and get it sold, because it flies like a DJI drone. The app's like a DJI drone. I mean, the controller's like a DJI drone. I mean, everything about it screams DJI, and the video quality of it was what you would expect from DJI. I noticed absolutely no differences in that. But yet,
the best deal. Well, you're not going to see it. Yeah, I don't know if it'll.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
Yeah, $299. I was in Costco today. The
wow.
Mini 3, $299 with ND filters and a micro SD card.
That's a good deal.
$299. Yeah.
Well, my boss just told me he owns a rental property, and the rental property, it's an older building and it has a flat roof. And if it rains, you know, or there's any kind of problems, he needs to get a ladder and go up there. It's a 2-story. And he said, he said, you know, Bill, I'm getting in my 60s. He said, a drone would solve my problems. And I said, absolutely. So he's looking at getting a Mini like that too. And I told him, I said, you know what? I said, I'll be happy to come up your place. He said he was going to bring his drone into work, but where we work at, we're within a 5-mile radius of the airport, so we can't fly there. So I told him, I said, I'll just come up your house. You know, we just have some fun, and I can show you what to do with it. So
hey, at that price, he could put it up in the rain. You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to answer Warren in the chat, Akarasho. Yeah, no, they have not. In fact, I tried to get a hold of them. A friend of mine gave me a good contact, and I have not heard back from them.
No, that's the RCN1 or the RCN2 probably, right? Marcus controller on that Mini.
It's the RCN1 controller.
Gotcha.
Well, they call it something completely different on the Specta bill. It says Specta, but on the Mini,
Yeah,
you talked about the Mini 3, Johnny.
Yeah, the one for sale for $299. But that's
yeah. So that is just the.
It's
I don't know.
Look.
I'm trying to.
It's probably the 2.
you gotta get a flashlight out here and take a look and see. And it says on the way on the bottom, made in China.
Made in China, yeah.
And there's a controller. I mean, it's the only difference I noticed is it doesn't have DJI's printing on it. All right, and same for this and for the drone.
Hey, Bill, I got a question for the ham radio. Any correspondence about the hurricane, anything, or any?
It's been pretty active. It's been right now. They're kind of dealing with a couple of issues, and one of them is the solar activity out there. It's been really spotty. So some days are good, some days aren't so good.
Gotcha. I didn't know how that. I know. Hey, satellites have been a little long to. I know the Air 3 is taking a few extra seconds to get satellites. So I don't know if anybody else is.
Yeah, and that the solar activity messes with that as well too. So it's like, but on some days, you'll be able to talk clear on some of these bands. Other days, and that's what it's been like lately the past couple of months.
Yeah.
RCN2, Johnny.
RCN2, yeah. So that's just a newer,
So I should have thought of that because it'll take the DJI RC as well. So
so you can't. Okay, but that's a great deal. Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, you get a ND filter and a SD card.
That's a good question. I don't know. I can't answer that for you. I've never tried, but that is a good question.
I don't think it will because what's his name? Guy, who was it?
Jack from Half Chrome.
Yeah, Jack Half Chrome. I think they tried it, but I mean, now it could have had some updates or something since then.
Yeah, I don't know, but I mean that possibility always exists. But like I said, it flew. The video I got from it, everything. I mean, I have 3 videos out there, and it worked like a champ. Now, one of them was real interesting. Okay, I flew from where I always fly now, from a clubhouse, and I went out to go to get the fountain at my entrance here. Now, what was really funny was it got so hot. It was so hot that day. I was using my Samsung S22 phone. It shut down. My phone completely shut down.
Wow.
It was so hot. So what I did was, drone's not going anywhere. It's like 75% battery. So I went into my truck. I started it up. That thing gets cold in a second. All right. It has that big V6 in there. I should be fine. Well, no, it's not really doing it. So I went out there and I said, look, we're just going to hit return to home.
Look at Ray's comment there. His was made in Malaysia. The
Mini 4Ks, they're all coming from Malaysia. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. Well, that's
just really, maybe that's an Anzu drone that's not green.
Well, it's what it is. It's the same as the Specta. Bill's got the clone to it. It's the same. Yeah. Same.
Yeah, I got a lot going on in that industry. So yeah, I don't. We'll see how it all falls out. I'm not. I was always kind of leery of.
If there's money to be made, somebody's going to fill that gap.
Absolutely, yeah. No, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Any final thoughts before we wrap things up here?
No, I say, like we all said, just get out there and fly and enjoy the summer. Of course, pay attention to the weather and, that time of year. And but hey, have fun. Just have fun, man. Enjoy your drones.
So, Johnny, you're legit concerned about that hurricane?
No.
Okay.
No, it's going toward Mexico and maybe could sneak the bottom of Texas. It looks like, but I mean, for us, no. But wherever it's going, it's a bad thing.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
Prayers out to those people. I mean, they've been there, done that, and it's going to be a very active hurricane season, they say. So just always be prepared. Bill, where you live, and everywhere from Texas to Florida to North Carolina. I mean, it's a lot of states. So just be weather aware. That's for sure.
Yeah, just stay alert. Marcus, any thoughts?
Yeah, I'm just going to echo Johnny. I mean, I'm going to be out there flying my damn drones. I'm not. I listen. I don't know how you guys feel. I'm getting tired of worrying about it. It's like we've all fretted about all of it for so long here. You know what? I just want to go out and fly my drones and have fun. And if something happens, it happens. I guess we'll worry about it then. But yeah, right now, there are so many great things that you can be doing with our current products that we have right now. There's so many things to explore with DJI, with that Mavic 3 Pro. So many functions with that Air 3. So many functions that we never even scratched the surface on. So get that drone out, start exploring that app, and mess around with some of those master shots and
Yeah, and
hyperlapse
yeah. Double made a good point. Learn what you have, and just hey, get out there and enjoy it. I mean, it's a great hobby, and man, when you see that view from the sky, and it's just amazing, and to see people's work and photographs that they take, and it's unbelievable. Some of the even
focus track suite that DJI gives us on these drones, it's just stunning. It's just the things you can do with that are just absolutely mind blowing. And we get kind of numb to it because we've been messing around with these drones a lot. Man, opening them up and start messing around with that stuff. You'll have a blast.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I'm just going to kind of echo what these guys have said. The other thing is enjoy your 4th of July. Have fun. Be safe. You go out there, especially with fireworks. It's always fun to have fireworks, but do it safely. I know that so many people have gotten burned over the years and other things. Definitely, it's a day to celebrate. It's a day to have fun. To celebrate Independence Day for us, but do it reasonably. And one of the things that we do, as corny as it sounds, we watch the movie Independence Day every 4th of July. It's just one of those, kind of one of those things that we do. It's just one of those fun things that we do. But they're having a party up at our pool. Have a full on food to buy up there. Have a DJ up there. They're having a contest. The pool noodles. You can put one together to build a raft and then jump in the water and go from one end to the other. Whoever the first one to do that is, and the raft staying together will win a prize at the end, a gift card at the end. So that's going to be fun. We're going to have a good time. And that's what it's all about. It's having some fun. And that's what we want to do. And that's what we want all you guys to do is to go out there and have some fun. And you know what? I'll tell you what, come rain or come shine, we're going to be at the 2025 South Florida Drone Meetup. Okay. No questions asked, because
absolutely.
Valerie and I had such a good time last year. We really did. It was great seeing everybody, and just I'm anxious for it. I wish it was coming up, all right, instead of having to wait so long for it. But we're gonna have a good time. That's gonna be a lot of fun. So guys, as always, it's a great day to fly. Get out there, fly, have fun, and be safe on the 4th of July. Take care, everybody.
Good night, everybody.